I love that. I love the intro. I don't know why I love it so much. I do. I love the intro so much. You're listening to the Urban Sports and Bowie TV Baltimore Ravens recap show. I'm Wole, and I'm joined by Bowie TV's Ravens beat reporter Carita Parks. What's going on, Carita?
What's up?
What is going on? Everything's good, man. You
Oh,
know,
thank you. I'm so glad this worked out this way. I was able to get my little workout in because I was feeling like a bum.
oh my god, I haven't got look. It worked out for me. Like it made me ditch my workout. It's cool. I need some rest. Like I
Oh,
need
did
some
you?
rest. Yeah, I need some rest in the worst way. I won't even lie to you. But anyway, let's get to what role. Look, in terms of recap, on Sunday, the Baltimore Ravens won a hard-fought battle in overtime against the Cincinnati Bengals, 41-38 in OT. Before we talk about that, let's get into particulars. Say subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, tune in iHeartRadio. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Also, make sure you subscribe to the Urban Sports Scene YouTube channel. Also, this Ravens recap is being streamed on Bowie TV YouTube channel as well. Subscribe there too. Don't forget to tweet us at Urban Sports Scene. Hit us up on IG at Urban Sports Scene and like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Also, join our Urban Sports Scene Facebook groups. Search Urban Sports Scene, sports bloggers, sports podcasters, and sports debates. All right, I mentioned the big OT win on the road, Cincinnati. Ravens defeated the Bengals 41-38. Lamar threw for 348 yards with 4 touchdown passes. Then you had Derrick Henry with a big 51-yard run to pretty much ice the game in OT. Where were your overall thoughts on the game?
I was very, very impressed with the offense for sure. I feel like just when I think about these past few games, 5 games up to this point, to me, that was their best offensive performance. And
Mm-hmm.
I say that because everybody was involved. Everybody got in on this offensively.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Tom Monken, he used all the weapons he had effectively. So that's why I feel like it's the best offensive performance, because I know they've had other offensive performances that
Yeah.
were good, but that leaned a lot on Derrick Henry. I feel like this was like a good mix. And they had to open the pass game up a little bit, which
Mm-hmm.
I kind of figured would happen in this game because of the game that Derrick Henry had that previous Sunday
Mm-hmm.
against the Bills. Like, I figured they would stack the box a little more and try to
Okay.
keep him contained.
It did. Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was great from the great offensively. Defense did some things well. I would say if there's a group I'm worried about, it's them. Just based off
All
that
right.
game.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And then special teams, on the special team side, um, Justin Tucker is back, if you could say he ever left.
True facts. Straight
But
facts.
when you were GOAT like that, if you're having some trouble, people start to panic and start to question, like, what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But when they needed him to come through and be the Justin Tucker that they have had around all these years, he did, and he helped them get that overtime win. So overall, I think it was a great game. I mean, 4 touchdowns from Lamar Jackson. 4 touchdowns from Lamar.
Yeah. In terms of that game, like you said, I felt like they utilized all their offensive weapons, which I think that was, you got work from. I'm gonna mention this guy later, but you got work from the tight ends. I'm gonna use plural, the tight ends.
Yes.
You got Bateman. I mean, obviously Flowers balled out. And you saw, like, in terms of Derrick Henry and
Everybody, I mean,
Mhm.
well, that's like you said, though,
Yeah,
they had the highest yardage, so
yeah,
that made sense. But even like Tylen Wallace came
yeah.
in
Oh my God, yeah,
late in the
that's
game,
yeah,
and he had some big catches for first to help with, like, get some first downs. It also took the at that point the defense was focused on the receivers who have been producing.
yeah,
And so then here comes Tylen Wallace, so he was in there too. And Nelson Aguilar had a few catches.
yeah.
So yeah, it was all around, all around.
Yeah, I think you mentioned Wallace. I just felt like, even the the play for the play that Derrick Henry, the 51-yard run, that was he had a key block on that play. You know what I mean? If you look at the replay, he's one of the individuals sprung that run. So, like you said, everybody on the offensive side of football produced and played well. I I've been asking the question about where is Andrews at, and he had a big fourth quarter. Like you got his impact in the fourth. You know what I mean? So I was like, yeah, you know what? Like that's the Andrews I remember, and obviously likely has been really good.
But I have to bring this up.
Mhm.
Charlie Kohler, he's been an X factor in my opinion because
Big
of
time.
all the tight ends, the focus is going to be on Mark Andrews,
Mhm.
Isaiah Likely at this point because he's shown that you gotta pay him attention. Charlie Kohler had, I think, was that a oh gosh, I think it was a 60-yard catch, 50, 60-yard catch. And
Yeah, you talking about did the seams? Yeah, he had a deep one. Yeah, I know you're talking
yeah,
about.
he had a deep one that set up a touchdown. So I mean, he really, really did a great job.
Yeah,
I just think that he's been, like I said, he's been wide open
yeah.
because I just really feel like people are forgetting he's on the field.
No, I think you said that as well. You said that a while ago. Like I think once you said that you made
Because
pregame whatever. You talked about
he's
him
had
being
a
a
couple big catches.
yes, and you were talking about how let me take this off the screen. Um, you were talking about how like because you're going to pay attention to the other tight ends, right? You're going to definitely pay attention to Likely. You're going to pay attention to um Andrews, but now he's the guy who kind of can slip through that. You know what I mean? And it kind of showed though, honestly. Like you were
Oh
worried about the other weapons like Flowers, and you got Bateman making plays now. And now you got Hill out the backfield. Obviously, you got Derrick Henry at the backfield as well. But now when you're accounting for all these weapons, he's a guy you're not paying attention to, and they're
yeah.
sliding him out there, and he's getting big plays out of it.
Big plays.
Mhm.
And, he's not necessarily, they're not relying on him like they're relying on Andrews and
Yeah.
Likely. And I think that is working well. He makes the key plays when he needs to make key plays, but Likely and Andrews are still there 1 and 2.
Yes. Definitely by far the 1 and 2 is 1 and 2.
Oh
The
yeah.
question from Paul. We talked about this. You talked about the defense. The Ravens defense ranking is one of the lowest in the NFL. What is the problem?
I mean, I think it's a combination of things. I feel like Zach Orr is still, I think it's going to be up and down with him,
Mhm.
honestly, until he really finds his groove. He's still learning, and I mean, it's tough to be a defensive coordinator and you're still learning to call plays for the entire defense. But then I was also thinking like this defensive staff is new too. I mean, they have a new
Yeah.
D-line coach. They have a lot of new staff, so I know fans don't care, but the fact of the matter is, there's a lot of new hands involved this season. There's not a lot of old left on the like from the different defensive coaching standpoint.
Mhm.
So I feel like that's a factor. There also seems to be some lapses in communication on the field, which Zach Orr has acknowledged. Some of the players have acknowledged that. Like last week when they not last week, because I guess at this point that would be the game they just played,
Yeah.
but the week before that against the Bills, they did so well because they had better communication. And so, for whatever reason, I think communication is still the issue on the field between the players. Um, you know, if I had the answer, I think they would have the answer.
I
So,
know.
like real
That's a
talk.
good way. That's a good way to state it. That's a good way to state it for real.
So I don't know exactly what the problem is, but those are
Yeah.
just some
That's
things
I
that have
like that. I like that answer. I like the way you said
come
that.
up.
I like that. I like that.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah. It would be fixed if we knew the answer, it'd be fixed,
Yeah,
right?
we need the answer to be fixed by.
Exactly. Yeah, I think and to piggyback on that, I mean, it's definitely the second, not definitely, but it seems like it's the secondary.
Oh, for
You know
sure.
what I mean?
That
Like
is the biggest.
that's the thing. It seems like it's the secondary, and I feel like their front seven has been good. Has been good. You got Kyle Hamilton.
They've been bringing pressure.
Yeah, bringing pressure. You got Kyle Hamilton playing in the box. I mean, even as a safety. So I think their main concern is the front seven. Like their strength is the front seven and even safety play, bringing the extra body of the box. But it's the secondary play. though, granted, like I want to give their flowers. Marlon Humphreys with a big interception to get them the opportunity to win the
When
game
they
in that
needed it
fourth
the
quarter.
most, yes.
Yeah, like, and that's he was checking Chase on that play. You know what I mean? So he was checking one of the premier receivers in football, and Joe Burrow made a play to his guy, and Marvin Humphreys had great coverage and got the pick, and that led to a clutch kick. What you referred to, like a clutch kick. We're talking about a 56-yard kick for a guy that he's, to me, arguably the best kicker I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
You got new
greatest of
age
all
kickers
time.
now, but he's the
Most
best
accurate
consistent kicker.
kicker.
Yeah, and knowing that he hasn't been like the same Justin Tucker of late. I mean, everybody's used to the is
They're
Warren.
used to him being perfect, and he
Yeah, and everybody, no one's
hasn't been
perfect.
perfect.
Period.
But like I said earlier, when they needed him to get the win
Exactly.
and make that game-winning field goal, 56 yards. I mean, let
Can't
me
beat
keep
that.
that. Yeah,
Can't beat.
they would be very disappointed. So, that's a long field goal. I've seen him in practice hit 60 plus. So he
Mm-hmm.
still got it. He said it was a technique issue. Maybe that's what it was, and he's worked his way through it. But I saw him in practice and in training camp kicking like 60 yards out without an issue.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm saying like, and just to do that, it's 56 in pressure.
Yeah,
That's the thing. Like, 56 ain't easy. But 56 in pressure,
not at
I don't
all.
care how great you are. 56 in pressure, knowing that this is it. This can pretty much, this is it. You get this kick.
But also,
We
especially coming in knowing that he had missed some kicks.
That too. That's
So
what I'm
then
saying.
there's
Yeah.
the mental.
Agreed. No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm totally agreeing with you
Oh,
because
yeah, I'm agreeing with you
yeah.
too. I'm
Like,
adding on. We're just adding on. That's all.
but yeah, like just to have that mental strength, because I mean we're all human, and if you're used to making a particular, like I play basketball, so when I'm used to making a particular shot and I feel like I always make this shot, but all of a sudden this shot isn't as my shot isn't as consistent. Like I'm always hitting the three from the corner, like
Yeah.
consistently. And then all of a sudden, like I can't buy a bucket from the corner. And now it's the shot, this is the last second shot or the game point, which you will use street terms, game point. You know what I mean? It's a three in the corner. I'm wide open. Like normally sometimes you gonna think about the shots you missed. And for a lot of people, you
Sure.
think about the shots you missed from the same spot. You know what I mean? But to make that shot in that type of situation, being a professional athlete, to make that kick and the distance on that kick, that's why he's him. Like that's how when I saw like he's him, and you could tell the swag when he made it though. Like he knew it was good, and that's not a guy who doubts himself.
No, it's funny because Coach Harbaugh, he has his regular Monday press conferences.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he said after the kick, Justin Tucker he said he was uncomfortably close to me. And he was like, let's go win the game. Let's go win.
You can
the
see
game.
it.
So right, like he was feeling it.
Yeah. He was in his groove. Like you can definitely tell that he was in his groove because when he made that kick,
Mm-hmm.
I was saying to myself, like, no, I wanted to see his reaction. That's the first thing. When as soon as he kicked it, I wanted to look at his reaction. And you could see it. It's like Steph. It was like Steph when Steph shoots it and he just knows it's good before it goes in. Like that's how it was. He kicked it, he was like, oh yeah, this is good.
I'm sure like once it go, like I'm sure like he's done it so much, and like has the technique down that when it gets off, he knows it's gonna go. Like he could probably feel like that was right. That was, that felt right, so to speak.
No, I was happy for him. He's one of my favorite kickers though, so I was definitely happy for him.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Lawan said the problem is communication and knowing your assignments, new defensive play calling, and understanding your responsibilities in that particular call.
I think that's what we said, right?
Yeah, we pretty said that. And I would it does go back to like, for instance, like what got me in this game about the secondary was more when the Ravens had the momentum in the first half. Mm-hmm. And then like before that half ended and they gave up that touchdown to Chase, I'm saying to myself, if anybody and it's like it's not that much time left on the clock. The worst you're trying to give is a field goal. Like you can't give up a touchdown out. You can't give up a big play at the end of the quarter, end of the half.
They did that in the Dallas game too, though.
Crazy.
Right before halftime, they gave up a touchdown. Mm-hmm. And then, Dallas, I want to say Dallas had the ball after
Mm-hmm.
halftime, and that's how they kind of got back in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been doing that. And my frustration is every time the offense, hey, what's up, Big Magic? Uh, every time the offense made progress,
Yeah.
essentially the defense, particularly the secondary, like they let them score like every single time.
Yeah, I that's my thing. It was more like it's like down and distance and how you kind of assess.
Mhm.
Like if anything, you go into the half, give a field goal. It's not even how because if it was at a 10-yard line, I would be like, all right, I get that. But you gave up a big explosive play right before the half. Like when your team has all the momentum, usually you'll be more conservative.
But I
Trying
think
to
he did that the entire game.
yeah.
They were giving up big plays the
They
entire
were.
game.
They were. They were.
So
They definitely were.
in this particular case.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so Derrick Henry finished with 92 yards rushing with the touchdown. He reached the 10,000-yard mark and the 100 rushing TD mark as well. We talk highly of him. I feel like we talk highly of him every freaking week. But your
I
thoughts
know.
on I know, right? But your thoughts on his accomplishments.
I mean, I think it's big. He talked a little bit about it prior to Sunday because he was on par for 10,000 yards, and I mean, I think he only had like 18 to 20 to go, so there was no way that he wasn't going to get that in the Bengals game. But he just talked about how, some of the players that he idolized are in that 10,000-yard club. And, just how grateful he is to have the longevity that he had. And I think that that's a good point. We talk so much about the running back position and, is it valuable or not? But Derrick Henry has accomplished a lot. And I don't know if people know, but I'm from Jacksonville, and I'll say it wasn't as impressive when he was doing that against the Jaguars all the time because they was in the same division with the Titans. I wasn't that impressed. But in all honesty, when covering this man on a week-to-week basis, you realize, not that we didn't know that. I mean, we knew Derrick Henry was special, but you just see how special he is on a week-to-week basis, and especially in this offense with Lamar. I'm so impressed with just how well he seems to fit in with everyone,
Mm-hmm.
all the respect that he seems to have for Lamar, and just it's not like I didn't necessarily know him in the past, but
Mm-hmm.
I pay attention to sports, and it just seems like he's matured so much too. So I
Mm-hmm.
just think a combination of all that. And then, in that Bengals game, he had a pretty big first half, but he was much more quiet in the second half.
Yeah.
However, this is just the perfect example of why a Derrick Henry is a game changer for the Ravens,
Mm-hmm.
because he was quiet in the second half, but the defense was tired. They were in overtime at that point. So the defense was tired and gave the ball to Derrick Henry, and he broke out for that 51-yard run. And like we said, set up that touchdown for Justin Tucker. So
Yeah.
I feel like he's definitely been a game changer for the Ravens. And we were talking about it in the media room a little bit, and how like the
Mm-hmm.
Ravens have never had like a player like that, in the running back position.
I like this from no, I like this for the one.
You lost the
Oh,
queen. What? Wait. Oh.
Patrick Queen. I like that one. That was
Yeah,
good.
I had to. That took me a
That
second.
was I was like,
True.
oh, I like that one.
That's cute.
I
I
like
like
that one a
that.
lot. It's crazy because he had like you said, he really wasn't doing that much in the second half. We only had 15 carries throughout the whole game. We remember us talking about this though.
Like
You know what I mean?
25
Like
his sweet spot.
yeah, like 25 is the sweet spot. And but then again, like when you're as good as Derrick Henry is, any play you can take it to the house. And
Yeah.
he's at that level where he's in his groove. And you could just tell he's in his groove.
It feels like he's like playing at a very high level right now.
Mm-hmm.
He always has throughout his career. I think before he
I did.
came to the Ravens, it wasn't, was he injured? I can't remember. With Tennessee.
Yeah, the year before he was a little banged up.
Yeah.
He was a little banged up.
So now it just feels like he's playing at a high level. Like we've talked about over the past couple of weeks, seems like the Ravens are getting better at figuring out how to use him and when to use him, and it's paying off.
It is. I just think that, it's almost I'm gonna date myself. It's like when Roy Jones had his weak rap song. He said, "Y'all must have forgot," and it's like I feel like he's motivated like that. Like that's because when he hit the market, it wasn't like everybody was trying to get their hands on Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
He wanted to, like my man Mike said, he wanted to play for Dallas, and Dallas didn't really offer. They really didn't put up a real offer to get him.
They say they couldn't afford him.
They said they couldn't, but the running back market is pretty cheap. You know what I mean? And same for like players like Saquon Barkley and whatnot. But but Derrick Henry is a guy that has been the guy on that Titans team.
Yeah.
The guy who's dominated the football on that Titans team is the reason why that team won football games, to be honest with you. And now he's on the market and he doesn't have a bunch of people trying to get him. You know what I mean? So now, like,
I think it was less about questioning his ability, but his age. Yeah. Right. Because he got 50,000 questions when he came to the Ravens about his age and does he still have it? But guess what? Nobody asking him that now.
No, and then and that's my issue when we do this. Not we, but like other pundits and whatnot. Like they don't judge you off of if you're really truly slowing down. They judge you off your age, especially somebody as good as Derrick Henry. You know what I mean? He never really slowed down, like other than like I said, a bunch of knick-knack injuries. And yeah, he has mileage because the Titans ran the bejesus out of him. So he has mileage, but his production cannot be argued. Like he's when he plays a full season, he is that dude. He is King Henry. So like I do feel like that's a motivating factor for him. It's almost like I'm gonna use as folks. I am a Commanders fan, but I'm not doing that this week. We're gonna do that in the pregame.
We're gonna wait, right?
Yeah, we're gonna wait. So I see some of y'all in the chat. We're not gonna do that. But like King Henry, when I watch, like it's like when Washington got Adrian Peterson when no one wanted him, and then all of a sudden, like it was like people said he was old, and then that year he pretty much put the team on his back as an older back, but they were going off of Adrian Peterson, his age. It wasn't about his production if he could still run the football. It was his age. So it's same here with Derrick Henry. It's like, oh man, like people judge him off his age and his mileage, but not the actual play on the field, because his play on the field really didn't, to me, never truly slowed down.
No, not at all. But I think that just being a little banged up, prior to being on the market, I don't think that was necessarily his best season with the Titans coming into the free agent market. And then you pair that with his age, which blows my mind, what's considered old in the NFL.
It kills me. Don't get me started. I got a great go to.
That kills me. Wow.
I feel like folks do too much with that age thing. It's a whole different thing.
But exactly. So I think that had a lot to do with it. But like I said, he's been impressive. And that Adrian Peterson comparison is so true. I was fortunate enough at that time to be covering the Commanders.
Yeah.
Commanders or whatever they were. Whatever they were back then. I don't think the name change had happened yet.
Yeah.
They might have been the Washington football team.
Maybe a football team, but it could have been the other thing too. It could have been the other name.
Okay, right. But yeah, like that's a really good comparison. And in this case, I don't think Derrick Henry has to carry the Ravens on his back, but it's just like he's given them like a weapon that I feel helps them be a better offense.
Yeah, I agree with that. My man, Attitude Pop 3 says, is Lamar the best QB in football, or y'all still say Mahomes because of his resume?
Who is y'all?
I think he's talking about not us. He thinks he's talking about people, not me. I don't know who. Look, who I think the best. I mean, to me, it's Mahomes for me. But that's just. I mean, but you could be talking about me then, because I do think Mahomes. But also, if folks notice, I love Lamar. Like Lamar is, to me, his hate is the hate that he gets is not even warranted.
Doesn't
Like it's
even make
terrible. And I feel like he's more than just, I hate the term running quarterback. He does more than run the football. And to be honest with you,
which he
his
showed,
pocket, his play in the pocket has gotten 10 times better. Like he can throw the ball out of the pocket. So
which he showed in this game,
yeah,
because it was very clear that the Bengals' strategy was try to take the run game away. So
yeah.
not just Derrick Hill, but I'm sorry, Derrick Hill. That's like my second.
I know. I told you there's a
I would just roll
combination.
with it. I would just roll with
You
the
should roll
duo,
with it.
the
I would just roll with
dynamic
it for real. I ain't gonna hold you.
the dynamic duo, but hold them down and force Lamar to throw the ball,
Yeah.
which he did, and he did it effectively. So he didn't have any interceptions. The only mistake he made was the fumbled snap.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, he passed so confidently, like we've seen him do in the past. But yeah, I think like Lamar is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. But at the end of the day, the way that just things work is if he doesn't have a Super Bowl, folks are still going to question him
I
as
know.
a quarterback. And that's just unfortunately how the sports world works. Is it's not just your talent, it is also having that Super Bowl, because there's less talented quarterbacks who have Super Bowls, but their names still come up. So that's why I'm rooting for Lamar to get a Super Bowl, because then what can everyone say at that point?
Yeah, here you go. This is I like this one. Non-swirl zone said, well, most of the sportscasters still consider Joe Burrow better quarterback than Lamar, Nick Wright, and others.
This just goes back to the lack of respect.
Yeah, I think it's wild. I think so. I do kind of think Lamar's better than Joe Burrow. I mean, I do think Lamar's better than Joe Burrow.
He's beat Joe.
I know. I think he's better than Joe
I
Burrow.
forget what his record is, but it's something crazy.
No, he's got to know. Like, is it 9-1 or 8-1? Something. It's like something in one, right?
Not like that.
Yeah.
His record is crazy against Joe Burrow. So the fact that someone is saying that Joe Burrow is a better quarterback, to say Joe Burrow is a better quarterback against versus Lamar, when Lamar has constantly beaten Joe Burrow, that's just utterly disrespectful.
I feel like it shouldn't be like
they would never call
it shouldn't
Lamar
be
a better quarterback than Joe Burrow if Joe Burrow was smacking Lamar the way Lamar smacks him. It's a team sport, so it's not just quarterback.
No, I think that it's like I don't like indefinites. Like, so if you say that somebody says that Joe Burrow is definitely better than Lamar, I mean, I'll have an issue. Like, if you say you make the argument to say, if you say like no, Joe Burrow and Lamar are close, I'm cool with that. Like, that doesn't bother me because Joe Burrow's been in the Super Bowl, but I just want Lamar to get his credit. Like, I feel like Lamar is just as good. Like Lamar, like you said, is like Lamar beats Joe Burrow, just like Joe Burrow beats Patrick Mahomes. Lamar beats Joe Burrow.
And I'm not comparing like the sportscasters. I'm not comparing any of these quarterbacks to each other, if I'm being honest. But if you ask me that question, my answer is you just can't say that Joe Burrow is better than Lamar based on the situation. And that's a good point too.
That's a very good point. I'm pro Lamar, so I'm letting y'all know I'm pro Lamar. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a great point. Lamar got 2 of them. I agree with that.
So it's just an odd situation as far as no matter what he does.
Yeah, nobody wants to give him his flowers. That's the problem. The non-swirl zone. So let me see Lamar Jackson. I mean, Lamar's last QB drafted. Like Lamar last QB draft he was. They said he couldn't throw and wanted him to change positions. Almost didn't have. Bruh, I agree, dude. That used to piss me off. Like change positions. That pissed me off. I personally, I remember when Lamar came out from Louisville. I wanted him to sit a year. I actually wanted him to stay in Louisville because I just wanted, because I kind of knew what the vibe was about it. So I wanted him to stay, play another year in Louisville. But when he got into the league, and as soon as he got the opportunity to play, I mean, he was dynamic as a runner, and was still when you're young, you're still trying to learn the NFL game and how to pass, how to read NFL defenses. But one thing about Lamar, man, like we said this, I'm redundant, and Carita, I told you this already, that he gets better every year. Like, and as an individual, for me, that I coach basketball. Anytime I see a kid that get better every year, I always have a natural, I have a natural liking towards that kid. And Lamar, I have a natural liking towards Lamar because he gets better every year. They said he couldn't throw. He gets better at his passing. He gets better at passing every year. To me, last year, I thought he took big steps. This year, he took 10 more steps. You know what I mean? So he gets better every year. Like, the hate on Lamar to say that he can't pass the football, like, I think that is like ridiculous. And if you still, and my thing is, if you're still using that same talking point, that you don't watch football. Like, and I mean, in a point of like, would he not even just throwing the ball, like throwing for yardage and stuff like that? Look at his approach in the pocket. Look at his approach when he scrambles. When he scrambles, he's not just trying to go out and run. When he scrambles, he's looking to make a play throwing the football. There is so much that he does as a quarterback in terms of throwing the football. Now, granted, we're all gonna love the way he runs the football as well. He's dynamic. Like, dude, I love Michael Vick. Like, that's my guy. Like, I love watching Vick run and do like video game moves on folks. Lamar can do some of that too. And now he's brought that element of throwing the football, almost like an older Vick. Like when Vick got a little older, when he got to the Eagles, he became a better passer. Same thing like with Lamar. Lamar is younger and has become a better passer. So
Lamar
like, his growth is amazing.
Like, what people are calling one of his best plays of his career against Cincinnati. When he fumbled the snap, he recovered it, scrambled out the pocket, knocked the defender down, all the while throwing the ball back across his body into the end zone to connect with Isaiah Likely. I mean, I was just, because this particular, I didn't go to the Bengals game, so I feel like I had a chance to kind of watch and just, even though I was still doing my same analysis, but I was able to take it in a different way. And I was just sitting there looking at Lamar like, this man is dropping dimes. He is scrambling. He is knocking defenders down. Like, he does so much. He's not just, he's not one-dimensional at all. You know, because you got quarterbacks who can scramble but not able to make the same kind of plays that Lamar makes. So that's why Tom Brady called him the eraser. He said that man is able to make something out of seemingly nothing. Or if a mistake happens, Lamar is able to like basically erase it and make a play.
So maybe some of my man Paul. I'm gonna read this. I know you're a Commander fan, Paul, but it's okay. I'm a Commanders fan too, but we gotta keep this Ravens though. What did you say? Wole, what you are saying is all true. Thank you, appreciate that. But no one fears him from the pocket.
Well,
this is the thing. You know why? But they're gonna learn. This is my thing. They're gonna learn to though. Like, the reason why they don't fear from the pocket is because they fear his legs. But you're gonna learn once you keep failing at it. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm gonna use an example for you, Paul, as a Commanders fan, because we're both Commanders fans. So I'm gonna use an example for this. People don't fear Jaden Daniels in the pocket. They fear Jaden Daniels' legs, for real. And that's why they fear his legs. That's why they try to play the man coverage, because they didn't trust him throwing the ball deep. Now they're going to fear him. You dig what I'm saying? Because what he did this week, they're going to fear him more off that alone. Same thing with Lamar. Lamar, they're starting to fear his arm little by little. Like, you can see it. You know what I mean? You can see it. So to me, Lamar, they're going to fear it. Like, it's definitely going to be feared. Like, it's been feared to me. To me, it's feared. Like, if you watch the Cowboys game, you kind of get a gist of, like, they said, you know, they tried to take Lamar away and said Derrick Henry beat us, and Derrick Henry beat him.
I mean, my thing is, who cares if they fear him in the pocket or not? Because at the end of the day, he's shown that he's able to win in multiple ways.
Facts.
It's not just in the pocket. He's able to win from being in the pocket. He's able to win when he has to use his legs. Like, he's been able to win in multiple ways. So they don't need to fear him in the pocket. They should fear him, period.
Yeah, they do fear him. But this is what I will say, though. I mean, thank you. Because now I remember, in terms of that point, I kind of want to dismiss Paul. I'm going to go against, debate Paul's initial thing. The Bengals try to keep him in the pocket. That was their game plan. And he got like almost 400 yards.
Right?
Yeah, and he got almost 400 yards. So regardless of, you can, this is the thing, the definition of insanity or game planning something, you can game plan something, but it still probably doesn't work. Like, it still didn't work. You know what I mean? Like, to your point, like, I can say my goal is to keep you in the pocket. If I was about to curse.
But I was about to curse, but
I'm trying to be PG. If I try to do this one thing to take you away, but you still produce at a high level, I'm not doing my job because I'm not adjusting to it. I gave up 41 points trying to keep you in the pocket. I ain't doing my job. That's 41 points. So obviously, if I don't fear, to your point, if I don't fear you, if I didn't fear that, I messed up. You know what I mean? Like I messed up.
And Lamar didn't have one rushing touchdown.
Yeah, I know. Like, yeah,
they were all through the air.
Facts.
So.
Oh, I agree. Ravens just play Josh Allen and practice against Lamar every day. I think they'll. Oh, y'all talking about that game? We ain't give about that game, man. We ain't talking about that game. That game we got. Look, y'all. I ain't gonna hold y'all. We gonna do this. We got a joint Commanders Ravens joint on Sunday at noon.
Live.
They live from MNT. Yeah, MNT Bank Stadium. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna have Carita and Candy. Bowie TV. Y'all already know what time it is. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be lit. So y'all can have that feuding thing there. All right. Right here, we trying to keep it be more. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep it be more.
For today, we recapping the game.
We just recapping the game. I appreciate. I love the fire though. I love like the chat is going. Yeah. It's going. I love it, man. I see some of y'all going back and forth.
Looking forward to this game on Sunday, and we'll talk more about it on Sunday.
Yeah,
but
I still want
thought this would be so anticipated.
Yeah, who would have thunk it? I'm trying to stay on this. Not on this game
came out, but it here we are, and it's
I'm trying to stay on this game. All right, so I want to stick on this offense because you mentioned Monken, and I think it's time that we gotta start putting respect on his name. This offense had 520 total yards against the Bengals. Like, is he now? Can we just say like he's doing a darn thing in terms of play calling for this Ravens team?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I loved the game that he called on Sunday. The only thing I will say, and this is with all parts of the Ravens, is they still need to find like the consistency. Like they're winning, but they still need to find consistency. So we need to have this consistent performance from Monken. But yeah, I agree. Hopefully it is for Lamar. But I do feel like he's learned. He's more comfortable this season as the Ravens offensive coordinator. I feel like, now he's kind of figured out, okay, this is how we're going to use this Derrick Henry, Justice Hill duo. We're seeing Rashad Bateman get more involved, which he acknowledged in the offseason because there's like a lot of questions about like opportunities. And he acknowledged in the offseason that he needed to try to get Bateman more involved. And he's been able to do that. Rashad's already doing better in 5 games than he did the entire season last year. So it's just going to continue to grow. Zay Flowers has had a great game. But like we talked about earlier, Mark Andrews, Charlie Kohler, Isaiah Likely, Tylan Wallace, Nelson Aguilar. I mean, just Justice Hill. Like everybody was involved in that game. And I feel like it made it difficult for the Bengals to figure out who to keep their eyes on. Because just one minute where you're focused on this person, it's somebody else that's coming in being an X factor. And I did ask Todd Monken in the offseason, what is the identity he wants?
That's a good question. Yeah.
He said he wanted them to be a nightmare to defend. He wanted them to be multifaceted and like you're not focused on one person. You don't know who, because like if you go in the Bengals game, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, you need to keep them under, and Joe Burrow, of course, because he's talented. You need to keep them under control. And then the Ravens do have their players like that as well that you got to keep under control. But now he's like opened up the playbook more. And I really enjoyed seeing that.
No, I think they're doing a lot, and I'm glad they're using Bateman though. I think that's I think he's super. I think he's talented. I liked him in college.
Third downs, because I feel like last year it was heavy on the third downs, and they're still using him in third down situations. But I like how now they're involving him more in plays to get touchdowns as well.
I like that too. I think Dr. Lawan said, "I want to see more targets for Bate too." Yeah, I
Probably
definitely.
gonna be a little hard, not gonna lie, because
It's because they got busy. It's hard. Yeah.
yeah, and they do want to use so many people. So I don't think we'll ever see. I don't. We might see like a 7 or 8 target game, but Zay Flowers had 7 targets the other day. So we might see like a 7 or 8 target game from Bate at some point. But I just feel like the way this offense is working, nobody's really gonna be over targeted. Does that make sense?
No, I got it. It makes a lot of sense actually. Pookie and Ray Ray. I like that name. Everybody blocks on that Ravens O line, particularly that big fullback. I forget his name. It's Ricard, right?
Ricard.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pat Ricard. Pat Ricard be out there getting busy. Okay,
man, he a beast.
He is a beast, and I love the relationship forming between him and Derrick Henry because Patrick Ricard, he is in on the big runs that Derrick Henry has. He's almost always involved, and so are a lot of people. So it's not just like Pat Ricard, but like he's one of those guys who's always blocking and opening up a lane for Derrick Henry. But he's also a weapon. That's the other thing, and I won't be surprised if we see him being used as a weapon at some point in the season. Because Todd Monken seems like he's getting into this stage where he's starting to pull things out of his hat and trying to take defenses by surprise. So
this is a good question from Paul, actually, even though Paul says, do the Ravens have an identity on offense? Do you think what would you say their identity is? I'll rephrase it that way.
I think I just said it.
Yeah, you said like mixing, just being this bad, right?
But I feel like they're getting there. I feel like they are have solidified that identity that I just mentioned? And I don't know if you heard it, Paul, but I said that I had asked Todd Monken what he wants their identity to be. And he said he wants he wants them to be a nightmare to defend. He doesn't want it to be a situation where, teams know which guys they can take away. They want to be able to use all the weapons that they have. And I will say they're getting there. And I feel like the Bengals game is the first time I've seen what he said match. But we've got to see it consistently for me to say, yes, that's their identity. Gotcha. But I think they're getting there.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think that, I would like them to give the ball to Derrick Henry because I think that's like old school Ravens football to me. Like you look at
it, they will because in situations that it works. Because the big games that he's had, it's worked. But I feel like the Bengals did get to a point where they were able to stop him a little bit, and then they had to focus more on the pass.
Which is a very good point, to be honest with you, because I guess that shows the growth of the offense, right? You take away a guy, their goal was to take away Derrick Henry. I think and I know like I'm talking about Lamar a lot, but it's a growth, it's a tribute. Honestly, it's props to Lamar because they take away Derrick Henry. Obviously, folks have seen what Derrick Henry has done the last 2 weeks, right?
That's what I mean.
And then to your point, and now like you can still go back, you can go to Lamar and say, hey, Lamar, this is gonna have to be your game. You're going to have to spread the ball around. Like this is going to be the game you got to throw over 40 times and hopefully, and you get us to the promised land. And that's what happened. So to your point, to what the point you made, I think that, it's showing versatility within his play call and just say, all right, taking away Derrick. Now Lamar, I need you to do this. So we're going to devise plays for you to spread the ball around. And we use your ability to help us win this football game rather than leaning on King Henry.
And like I said, even just getting Tylan Wallace involved, we don't see Tylan Wallace come in as a receiver a lot. He's on special teams quite a bit, but you don't see him come in as a receiver a lot. And so I like that they had him come in towards the end of the game because he was a guy that the defense wasn't really paying attention to, I feel.
No, they shouldn't. When you have these other weapons, I wouldn't either. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's a good play call. Because I wouldn't either. I won't lie to you. When you got You got Zay Flowers putting in work.
Surprised, right?
Yeah, you got Zay Flowers putting in work, like you mentioned, like Bateman had touchdown. You had likely had 2 touchdown receptions, I believe, and then you had obviously Andrew starting to get busy in that fourth quarter. You're not worried about Wallace. Like that's going to be the last dudes you worry about.
Exactly, and I feel like that is kind of the strategy sometimes.
All right, let's see. All right, so let's talk about like what folks are mentioning. This defense, all right, like this defense, this secondary in general. 371 yards passing they gave up to the Bengals.
Yeah.
Now we've already talked about, like the secondary has been struggling. We've already discussed that. That's neither here nor there. But this game's a little different for me because you're going against Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, which is arguably the best duo in football in terms of the wide receiver position. So is it more that who they went against, or is it just something to you which is like, all right, we got to just fix this? Because it does kind of, like talent does dictate what happens. You're playing the Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. It's not like you're playing it's not like you're playing Carolina's, no disrespect to Carolina, but not like you're playing Carolina's wide receiving core. Mm-hmm. Like you're playing two of the best. Yeah, to me, arguably the best tandem in football.
I think it was a little bit of both.
Okay.
I definitely feel like it was the talent. Mm-hmm. Leading up to that game, Marlon Humphreys said it was going to have to be a game where it was on the DBs to stop Chase and T. Higgins. Mm-hmm. So the talent, it was definitely the talent. And even Coach Harbaugh in his press conference, he said from his perspective, he feels like the Bengals offense executed exactly how they wanted to execute. Yeah. He still felt like the defense was playing tight coverage. And he said there was pressure on Joe Burrow, but they were just executing. So that was part of it. Yeah. But he also acknowledged that they kind of compounded the yardage, and he felt like some of the coverages, like they could do a lot better on their coverages. So it was like, yeah, and we could acknowledge the defense did do some good things. And I cannot take away, although they were letting the Bengals march up and down the field, mm-hmm. I cannot take away how big that interception from Marlon Humphrey was.
It's big.
It came at a perfect time. They needed a play because Lamar did so good in that game. Yeah, that interception came on, if I recall, it came on the drive after Lamar fumbled.
Wasn't that? No, the fumble happened in overtime, didn't it? I could be wrong. I could be wrong, and you could be right. I thought it happened in overtime. I could be wrong. I know that fumble because he missed the kick on the fumble, right?
No. So the fumble is. So
go ahead.
Yeah. But that interception came after the fumble. Okay. Had Marlon not intercepted the ball,
they were losing. Yeah,
they were losing, and it was definitely going to be. People were going to say it was Lamar's fault,
of course.
So yeah. I just didn't want it. I didn't want it to go just because he has such a good game. I'm like, dang, like I don't want him to go out like that. Yeah. So Marlon saved the game, and it's funny because Lamar had got on Marlon like maybe 2 weeks before that on the live, telling him he dropped 2 interceptions. So Marlon came through that time, and so did what needed to be done in that moment. But I'm still concerned about the pass defense because yes, talent has something to do with it. And there's just some guys who are going to get open or make plays. And Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are 2 of those guys. But we've seen this pass defense give up some big plays over the past couple of weeks. Notably, the Raiders game that they lost. Yeah. And that's how the Cowboys got back in it. Mm-hmm. So it's still something there that needs to be fixed.
The only reason why I said that because, I'm looking at what the Bengals have done including the Ravens game, the last 3 weeks. And they put up 30 over on everybody the last 3 weeks. It's my Commanders, they lost. They put up 30 against us. They put up 30 against the Panthers. And then the Ravens, they put 38. So I'm like, I'm not sure If it's like, yeah, I know, because I don't want people to be so hard. Sometimes this is my thing about like when people assess like a unit or a player, you know what I mean? Like they just see like the bottom line. And sometimes the other dudes are just better. You know what I mean? Like the Bengals are like, even though they're 1-4, they're scoring once they got T. Higgins back, they're scoring a lot. You know what I mean? They're scoring a lot. So this game may not be it may not really be, it shouldn't be like a thorough indictment of the secondary. No, I agree with you. There is consistency. Like there's an issue there, right? Because you mentioned the Raiders game. And I do agree with it. Like there's a body of work.
The only game that it didn't happen
was Buffalo, right?
Was Buffalo.
Yeah.
So I do agree with your assessment. I mean, the Bengals, they have good receivers. Yeah. They're able and they're making plays. So it's hard to stop them.
Yeah, it's just hard.
I 110% acknowledge that.
Yeah.
But the reason I still feel like there's reason for concern is because even outside of that, we were seeing this. That was the issue in other games where the receivers were not as talented.
Yes.
So, we'll see. We'll see what happens against the Commanders.
Yeah, we'll see. Like I just feel like it's so, because I can tell, like if I'm in that locker room, I know folks are saying to themselves, like, I mean, like they'll probably have, well, not if I'm on social media, not if I'm a player on social media, they're like, you guys suck, you guys garbage. How can you let the Bengals do this, that? And I'm like, when you actually sit and watch it, like, dude, they got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Like
those folks got something every week. Next week is gonna be something else, like just a trip.
Oh my god, I can tell somebody's a Bengals and a Bengals fan in this chat. He's like, I'm not gonna display it, but I can tell you a Bengals fan though. Hog head cheese. If Joe Mixon would have made a difference in that game too. Joe Mixon played for the Houston Texans. It's all good.
Well, I mean, but I see what he's saying though. But yeah, sorry. Yeah, he with the Texans. Isn't he hurt now though?
Joe Mixon? Y'all have my fancy saying he better get healthy too. Jerk. He's costing me money. He's costing me money. He needs to get healthy ASAP. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I'll put this out there. Like, yeah, Burrow's numbers were better than Lamar's 5 touchdowns, 384 passing yards. Ravens lucked out. I mean,
this is definitely
I mean, he lost. I don't know how to he lost. At the end of the day, he lost.
It doesn't matter. Like that's really right. Like in any football game, at the end of the day, if you can't beat who you playing, like it is what it is.
I'm gonna be real, like, you know, I mean, again, I'm gonna reference a game. Like sometimes stats don't say everything. Like Joe Burrow's stats were probably better than, I'm gonna use the game that I watched on Monday night. His stats are probably better than Jaden Daniels, but Jaden Daniels was the winner, and he looked better. He looked just as good. You know what I mean? And so he was like the better quarterback.
Always tell the whole story.
Yeah, stats don't always. My point is stats don't always tell the whole story. But I feel you, bro. Like I feel you. I'm not here to knock it. I feel you. I appreciate you tuning in, though. That's what's up, though.
Yeah, you know thank you.
I mean, look, man. Truth be told, I like Chase. I like T. Higgins. I like Chase. I do. So you know what I mean. Burrow got colored tips though. He got to like chill out though. Still, he can't be like Eminem. Like he got to be the old Joe Burrow. Smoke cigars or whatever. We can't do the Eminem stuff. But yeah, but in terms of, let's go into like your top. Well, let me go into your top performer. Who would you say was your top performer for Sunday?
In that game for me, it was Lamar Jackson. I just feel like, you know, he always makes things happen, but I just feel like he was so impressive. Just he was extending drives. He was throwing. I mean, he may have had like a few inaccurate throws, but for the most part, he was accurate with his throws. He was making things happen, and it's not like this was a game where like you needed Lamar to be Superman, because his receivers were coming through for him.
Yeah, they're all
the running backs were doing their thing. It's just that's the type of player he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like that paired with everything coming together on offense, for me, yes, I I'm giving it to Lamar Jackson.
That's a good one. Lamar's a real good one. I'm gonna go a different route. Hold on. Yeah. Lamar was Superman on Sunday. I like. He totally was.
He absolutely was.
I'm gonna go a different route. I'm going to go with. Oh, he's the Bengals placeholder. Chill out. Chill out. All right. I'm gonna go with Justin Tucker for everything. I can go Lamar. I'm gonna go Justin Tucker because of everything you said
I like
earlier.
that too.
Yeah, with everything you said earlier. He was having a rough stretch from kicking from 50, and to know that to tie the game, I need to make this 56-yard kick for us to get an opportunity to even go to overtime.
Yeah.
Then obviously, I mean, that was a chip shot for him, but to close the game out with the game-winning kick, I just think the mental strength, mental fortitude to go out there and deliver. Mm-hmm. He deserves his props. So I usually don't give stuff like that to kickers, but he's a different type of kicker.
No, so. I absolutely like that, and I think it's kind of funny because I think at the end of that game in an interview, Derrick Henry was talking about how Lamar Jackson was the GOAT. He's like, he's the GOAT. That's the GOAT. Yeah. But then he also said, and then we had another GOAT.
I heard that one too.
In the game, right? So I mean, I like it.
We're here. The two GOATs. I like that. No, I like it. Even so, Paul said Derrick Henry. Yo, Derrick Henry. Yeah.
Yes and no, because I feel like Derrick Henry's Bills game was better. I think yesterday, I'm not taking away him being. I'm just saying the reason I didn't go with him this week is because he definitely met those milestones.
Yeah.
But the Bills game I think was his better game.
Yeah.
Versus this week, I just feel like Lamar edged it out this week.
I just feel like this. I mean, if you want to say he was clutch, Derrick Henry was clutch because that run was clutch. Especially after they missed the kick. He always clutch. They missed the kick because of they missed the kick. Mm-hmm. And then the play right after they missed the kick, Derrick Henry goes and busts a 51-yard run. It's a different beast, man. Here and then, just for him, it's not just there was a hole and he hit the hole, but then just to get the move on that sideline to get extra yards when he cut back in, the vision. Derrick Henry.
The only person stopped it was Geno Stone, Ravens,
and barely.
Safety, barely. I was surprised that Geno was able to bring him down. He tackled him at the legs, though, which is what you got to do.
He got because Derek, his steam was slowing down. That's all it was. He wasn't going.
That's all it was.
If it was a straight ahead. Oh, he would have got mauled. I'm not gonna lie to you. He would have got mauled. But I would go and I think also Marlon Humphrey should get honorable mention because that interception did. If he doesn't intercept that, the Ravens lose.
Game probably over. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that play was to your point, what that play represented, was everything for the Ravens. And it changes from going, from being right now they're 3-2 right now, right? From being 3-2 to 2-3. You know what I mean? That was the change. And now they're on a 3-game, they're on a 3-game winning streak because of it. So I just think for real, that's to me, if I had to have an honorable mention, it'd be Marlon Humphreys because I think that interception was huge.
It was absolutely huge. And I'll say this in general. Mm-hmm. With the Ravens, I just feel like even as bad as the defense as bad as the secondary got ate up a little bit. Mm-hmm. The one thing about them is they find a way. They find a way to win, and I feel like that game against the Bengals was another example of that.
No, I agree. This Bengals fan is really in it. I'm just going to show you because I want to show you real quick before I end the show. Not you, but I'm saying in general. I'm showing the Bengals fan. Referees blew that pass interference call during Humphrey's interception. That wasn't pass interference. He broke on it.
I didn't see pass interference.
He's talking about the last play. That wasn't a PI. He broke on the ball.
If you want to talk about the referees blowing something, they blew a face mask call.
Oh, that was a bad call. That's facts. He yanked the whole thing around.
Mark Andrews' head was turning everything, and that wasn't called. That was something.
That was a horrible call. You talking on Andrews? He yanked Andrews' head. Oh yeah, that was a
dude. Head was turned.
That's a very good point. But that wasn't PI, man. Hey, Hoghead Chiefs, real talk. That Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. That's old school cornerback play. You broke on the ball. Cornerbacks have the right to go after to attack the ball. Like I ain't. That was a good play, bro. You know what I'm saying? That was a good play. But yeah, I thought that game was rough pretty well. To be real with you, I've seen more. I've seen some bad roughing. That game was rough pretty well. So, but yeah, it's about that time to end the show. Hey, yo, end the show. I want to say thank you all in the chat. I appreciate y'all. Y'all came out today. I ain't gonna even hold y'all. Y'all came out
Thank
today.
you. Thank
You
you
know?
so much for joining us.
Yeah, y'all came out. Much appreciated, man. Again, tune into our Beltway pregame show Sunday at noon. It's gonna be only this Sunday. We ain't gonna be doing joint shows often. Y'all a little bit too much. I can tell what time it is with y'all, so I ain't gonna hold you. I can tell what time it is with you all. But we're gonna be combining the all burgundy and gold everything pregame show and the Ravens pregame show together. It's going to be on our YouTube, IG, and Facebook Live. This will also be streamed on the Bowie TV YouTube channel. Also, the All Burgundy and Gold Everything YouTube channel and IG. So y'all be prepared. We gonna merge everything. I already got a new intro for it too. I got intro for it. You know, I got a little background for the like this little background for. I've been in my bag working on it. So we gonna have a good look. It's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be all fun. I ain't doing no trash talk. I'm just going to assess and whatever. I'm just gonna have fun with it. I'm at a trash talk.
It'll be a good time.
It's gonna be a good time. Folks who want to come at me though, it's gonna be fun. Because y'all know me, I'm all about the smoke, so I'm different. But yeah, this has been a dope show. Always a pleasure to have Carita on, man. This has been fun. Hey, and also, again, let me reiterate this though. I want y'all to make sure I subscribe to my podcast on all platforms. You know what I'm saying? All platforms. Because I don't got time to do my little spiel, but for subscribe on all platforms, all right? Especially on the YouTube joint. Hit the red subscribe button, like the video, man. All right, like it. We working. And for Bowie TV too, bro. Like it. Subscribe and like. Don't just go ahead and view and be one of them people that just come to the home and don't bring nothing. You know what I'm saying? Come into the home, do something. Show that you like being here. You know what I'm saying? So do that. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, homie. Really do, man. Big magic. I appreciate you, homie. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Anyway, you've been listening since I'm the Urban Sports Say to the Urban Sports Say for ages. Yiddig, deuces. Hey, fam, we are out.